The Promised Neverland is messed up. Not talking about the faces or the adaptation itself. It's actually quite good so far. No, I'm talking about the premise. Again, anyone who's made it to the end of the first episode isn't batting an eye. Children being harvested at the ripe old age of 12, if not sooner, for the consumption by a race of demons. Yeah, that's only mildly horrific. But the more we pull back, the worse it gets. Just take a step back with me. Okay, a little more. Little more. Too far. But what I mean is that there are very messed up parallels that can be drawn should one choose to. And screw it, I choose to. Look at it like this. The numbered markings, tagged implants, a safe, friendly enclosure with plenty of food are all very reminiscent of current conditions for many farms in reality. Now, of course, because we're talking about actual human children, I think it feels a lot worse thanks to the morals in these monkey brains of ours getting applied instantaneously. And keep in mind, this is when the kids are free range. I can't imagine the horror and empathy I'd feel if they'd been put in conditions analogous to most of our livestock. But compare it to something like the movie Chicken Run, for example, which features a very similar plot but from a much more comedic angle. And that's definitely the only similarity between the two. Well, that and they could both be considered PETA's wet dream. Look, I know it sounds ridiculous, but hear me out. Obviously, you can see where I'm coming from with a movie like Chicken Run that features, jungle fowl, but I'd actually argue that The Promised Neverland would be PETA's preferred propaganda, because a main crux of The Promised Neverland is that Emma, Norman, and Ray are all very smart. Like, put the little Einsteins to shame smart, okay? And the demons are the only reason they are this intelligent, which, at the same time, makes this trio the best candidates to stage an escape. They have been instrumental in creating something that could bring about their own destruction. Folly of man type shit. Or I guess, D-Man in this case. It'd be like if we raised a super smart race of cows or pigs that then staged an uprising. Utterly ridiculous, but also just as horrifying. Animal Farm 2 Deep Blue Sea Edition. You could also zoom out even further and see this as a potential allegory for the creation of a sentient AI. Something that is ideally supposed to be beneficial, instead bringing about untold amounts of destruction and pain for their creators. So, I guess then PETA's dream come true is Elon Musk's worst nightmare via the transitive property. Huh. Okay, so do I actually think The Promised Neverland is trying to comment on things like unethical farming or the hubris of mankind as a whole? Not really. If anything, I think it shows how ignorant or even hypocritical we can be on some matters, and how it can all depend on what level of consciousness or humanity we attribute to those in this awful situation. The human race has done it time and again to our own kind, so it's not that crazy to think we'd do it to animals without a second thought. But I'll be fully honest, even choosing to look at the series like this, it doesn't really make me change my mind. I'm not any closer to being a vegetarian, let alone a vegan, despite knowing full well how messed up some of this stuff is. And maybe that's because The Promised Neverland is a far cry away from any kind of indictment of this system. It is primarily a horror-themed Prison Break story filled to the brim with mind games and speculation. So when I'm watching, I'm really too tense to worry about if the chicken in my sandwich lived a full life. But those are just my thoughts, and as always, I'd love to hear what you have to say. What do you think of The Promised Neverland so far, and my crackpot ideas? I really do hope I haven't changed how you look at the show too much. Also, let me know if you like this shorter, weirder video. Not gonna lie, it was fun to make. Any and all additional comments are welcome down below. Thank you as always for watching, and an especially big thanks goes out to my awesome patrons, PenguinPandaZero, OverjoyedSoup, MVPino, James Morton, Mr. Idealist, Marbled Ranger, Spudge, Beorn, and everyone else whose support helps make videos like these possible. Links to that Patreon if you'd like to join them, my shirts, and everything else are either down below or on the screen right now. Leave a like and click that bell icon to keep up to date. Stay awesome, and I'll see you next time.